So Logan Paul recently tweeted that YouTubers don't just chase clout anymore, they're trying to build real businesses. Which is kind of funny, considering he and KSI just completely dropped the ball on what was once a billion-dollar company. The irony is almost impressive, because at this point it feels like the only business model Logan truly understands is finding new ways to disappoint his audience. But anyway, let's rewind to 2023, because Prime was absolutely unstoppable. We're talking over $1 billion in revenue, shelves wiped clean everywhere, parents arguing in grocery stores like it was a Black Friday stampede. Prime wasn't just selling out, it was causing chaos. And at that moment, Logan Paul and KSI looked like they had genuinely figured it out. It felt like they had created the next Gatorade. Fast forward to today, and Prime's fall is almost as dramatic as Logan's public image after the Japan forest controversy. Bottles are collecting dust in clearance aisles for less than $1, and what was once a billion-dollar empire is now a case study in what happens when influencers mistake hype for an actual business plan. So let's break down exactly how two of the biggest creators on earth managed to waste one of the most successful product launches the internet has ever seen. Because when Prime launched in January 2022, it was insane. Two former boxing rivals, guys who built entire careers off hating each other, suddenly announced they were teaming up to launch a hydration drink. The internet exploded. Logan's announcement video racked up around 8 million views almost instantly. Kids were lining up outside convenience stores at 5 in the morning like they were waiting for the latest iPhone. Some people even started reselling bottles online for anywhere between $100 and $1,000. Because Prime wasn't just a drink anymore, it was a flex. It was a status symbol. Basically, the supreme hoodie of beverages. And nowhere was this crazier than the UK. Every restock vanished within minutes. Stores hired security guards. There's actual footage of grown adults fighting 12-year-olds over the last bottle of blue raspberry. It was madness. Chaotic, ridiculous, and incredibly profitable. By the end of year one, Prime had already made $250 million. A year later, $1.2 billion, with a B. It became one of the fastest growing drink brands ever. At that point, Logan and KSI weren't just succeeding, they were steamrolling everyone. Sponsorships with the UFC, WWE, and FC Barcelona. Massive celebrity ambassadors like Erling Haaland. This was no longer a YouTuber side project, it was a legitimate global brand. But here's the problem with building everything on hype. Eventually, the excitement fades, and when that happens, you better have something solid underneath. Prime didn't. Because right when Prime hit its peak, Logan Paul's past came back swinging. CoffeeZilla dropped a massive 3-part investigation exposing CryptoZoo, Logan's failed NFT project that scammed millions of dollars and never delivered a functioning game. The evidence was brutal. Missing developers, sketchy middlemen, fans losing tens of thousands of dollars. It was a complete disaster. Logan had spent years repairing his image after Japan, and in the span of a month, all that progress disappeared. And instead of owning up to it, he did the worst possible thing. He sued CoffeeZilla. Because obviously, nothing says, "I did nothing wrong," like hiring a legal army to silence someone who brought receipts. The lawsuit eventually went nowhere, but the damage was already done. Parents weren't just checking sugar content anymore. They were Googling, "Is Logan Paul a scammer?" Not exactly ideal when your product is marketed directly at kids. And somehow, things got even worse. Because while Logan was dealing with backlash online, Prime caught the attention of someone far more dangerous: the U.S. government. In July 2023, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer publicly called for an FDA investigation into Prime Energy. Why? Because each can contain 200 milligrams of caffeine while being heavily marketed to children. For comparison, Coke has 34 milligrams, Red Bull has 80. Prime Energy had more than double that. While using kid-friendly influencers, gamers, and teen-focused marketing. Schumer accused Prime of misleading health claims, targeting children, hiding dangerous caffeine levels, and failing to properly warn consumers. Parents panicked. Teachers panicked. Schools started banning Prime like it was contraband. And even the non-caffeinated version got dragged. Nutrition experts pointed out that Prime Hydration was advertised like an elite sports drink used by professionals. But when you looked at the ingredients, it was basically coconut water dressed up with aggressive marketing. Even Gordon Ramsay tried it and said it tasted like perfume. Once health concerns went mainstream, schools around the world banned it. Australia, the UK, the US. Teachers didn't want kids showing up to class vibrating like like they just downed 3 energy drinks before math. Prime went from being cool to being something you'd get suspended for bringing. So how did Logan and KSI respond? They teamed up with Mr. Beast to launch Lunchly, a Lunchable-style product aimed at kids. Each box included a small meal, a Feastables chocolate bar, and a Prime drink. On paper, it looked like perfect brand synergy. The backlash was immediate. Dan TDM accused them of exploiting kids for profit. Dr. Mike broke down the nutrition and revealed each meal had only 230 calories, while kids need around 600 for a proper lunch. To get enough energy, a kid would need 3 Lunchly kits, which would overload them with sodium. Then, Rosanna Pansino made everything worse by opening one on camera and finding mold inside. Yes, moldy lunches shipped to children. Lunchly was supposed to fix their reputation. Instead, it became one of the biggest PR disasters of the year. And this all happened while Prime was already losing momentum. Kids move on fast. Trends die faster. Once the novelty wore off, people realized something important. Prime didn't actually taste that good. It was hype, not loyalty. Like fidget spinners, massive for a moment, gone forever. And just when things couldn't get worse, KSI's past caught up too. CoffeeZilla released another investigation, this time exposing KSI's involvement in the XCAD crypto pump and dump. The evidence showed KSI hyped the coin, claimed he was holding, then dumped $850,000 worth of it almost immediately. Fans felt betrayed. His clean image collapsed. Suddenly, Prime was owned by 2 creators accused of scamming fans while selling a drink to children. Trust was gone. Then, in 2024, things escalated into full legal chaos. A class action lawsuit claimed Prime's grape flavor contained PFAS, forever chemicals, at levels over 3 times the recommended lifetime limit. Parents panicked again. Stores pulled products. Headlines got uglier. Sales collapsed. UK sales dropped 70%. Revenue fell from $12 million to $3.3 million. Profits dropped 92%. US sales fell 40% in just 6 months. By 2025, Prime wasn't selling out. It was being dumped into clearance bins and dollar stores, and lawsuits kept coming. In late 2024, beverage giant Refresco sued Prime's parent company for $68 million. They claimed Prime committed to buying massive volumes, forced them to invest in special equipment, then walked away once demand collapsed. Other suppliers reportedly followed with their own legal action, and the final humiliation, the Olympics. In July 2024, the U.S. Olympic Committee sued Prime for trademark infringement. They accused Prime of using protected terms like Olympic, Team USA, and going for gold without permission, especially on a Kevin Durant collab. Coca-Cola already owns exclusive Olympic beverage rights. Prime tried to borrow that prestige without paying for it. By the end of 2024, Prime didn't collapse just because hype faded. It collapsed because its founders destroyed it. They misled customers, targeted kids, faced government scrutiny, shipped moldy food, got exposed for crypto scams, refused accountability. Prime could have been a decade-long success. Instead, it became a warning, a billion-dollar brand killed by its own creators. Logan Paul and KSI didn't just fumble Prime, they proved that hype, scandals, and shortcuts can't build a real empire. Let me know what you think about Prime in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.